of faith, I have been there, unprepared for the storms and the tides that rise. I've realized one thing, how much I love you, and it hurts to see you cry. I believe we can make it through the winds of change. Make some sense of the pieces that we found.
Intermediary called me and she said, your birth mother would like to talk to you. And I'll never forget that feeling. First time I heard her voice, she told me 2 things that would change my life. She told me that she was going through breast cancer, and the second thing she said was that I had a sister. Surgery, but so like Heidi, I had 3 brothers. So I was really excited to find out that I had a sister. And, you know, I was thinking about this earlier today, and I didn't really put this together, but it was within probably a week or 2 of my mom finding out that she had breast cancer for the first time that we got the phone call from Heidi. So I got the worst news that I could have ever heard, that my mother had breast cancer, and then I got the best news in the world is that I have a sister. So I ended up having a double mastectomy, and that wasn't easy to do because my other breast was healthy and the doctor was trying to convince me to keep it, and I didn't want either one of them. They were double trouble to me. So she finally agreed to remove the breast. And there were a few moments in there for me that were just really profound that I would like to share with you, because doctors, you're healers. My surgeon, who had to remove my breast, was not just a surgeon, she was a woman. And when she unveiled my chest to me for the first time, it was only the 2 of us in that room. And I still remember her unwrapping the bandages and me feeling the air on my chest, and I knew that I was exposed. And she held my hand and she put her cheek to mine and she said, I'm ready when you are. And we looked down. And in the middle of that shock, she said to me, Heidi, I want you to notice something. And I'm like, well, the obvious, obviously, but she said, no, you can now see your heart beating. Where there once was a breast, you can see your heart. And that was just like so great. So now I give heart hugs. If I don't have my prosthetics on, I always grab my son. I'm like, heart hug! Mom. That sounded way fancier.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, they lost me at needle. I got there and like, you want a what? A needle? And the needle is the size of Texas coming at me. And I hate needles, which I know is kind of ironic since I've got some ink going on and it keeps going, but I don't like needles stuck into me. So I'm like, okay. So I couldn't eat. I can't have coffee. And now you're going to take this needle, but I can do this. So I get there, go in, and we have to do the needle. And I look down, which I should have never done. The needle is sticking out still, like an inch. And she looks at me and she's like, well, that's okay, because, you know, we're going to protect this. So I'm like, okay. So she comes at me with a Dixie cup and duct tape. Now, I'm not lying. Now, this is central Pennsylvania, so, but this is 2006. I'm like, really? This is all you can come up with? I'm like, you're joking right now, right? Like, there's somebody's going to pop out and say, no, we're just kidding, take that off. Oh, no, we have to keep that protected. Okay.
Give them a side view, like for the whole.
So here I go.
Sorry, let's aim it right.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so I've got the gown on. This is me. the story gets worse. They're telling, the breast center is in front of the hospital. They're not connected. I can't go up there with my parents, which is already mortifying. My dad's along. I'm like, really? My dad is out there too. And I have to go out like this to my dad. And oh, no, we have a driver. We have a driver for you. You what? There's a driver? Are you kidding me? So the security guard, driver / maintenance guy picks me up out back. And I'm like, buddy, you better have a drink. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, good morning. Good morning. I get in the car, and I just couldn't believe it. So off we go. Up to the hospital, get out, like everybody else getting out at the hospital for their blood work and their lab work, and I'm in a gown with this. Good morning, everyone. Breast cancer. Yes. This is it. This is what it looks like. So, can I take this off,
You
please?
can take it off now. Yeah. You can
So
take it off.
anyway, that was my horror story. That was the worst part of my situation. Luckily, the rest of the day went very smooth. They were able to go in, do what they needed to do, and I had 7.5 weeks of radiation and worked through it, sailed right through it, and I was extremely, extremely fortunate. So
30 pounds smaller. I'd lost so much weight from chemotherapy. So I'm boobless, skinny, bald, and this beautiful lady comes in with a little tote bag, and she goes, oh, honey, before you leave the hospital, I have some special things to give you. And I'm like, okay, great, fabulous. And she said, the problem is the little padded breast, we only had D's. Well, first of all, does this resemble a breast to you in any sort of way, shape, or form? I think we need some work on the artwork. But, I ended up using it for eye makeup removal, and it's coming pretty handy. Be a pillow. Then you end up with the little thing that looks like a chicken fillet. And then the problem with these is I'm always losing them, dropping them, can't find them. And the screaming and I'm always, Blake, where are my boobs? Troy, where are my boobs? My poor family, they just suffer tremendously. So we had entirely different experiences with cancer. I am such a worrier. For
Yes.
me, when life gives you a lemon, this is what I see. I see, oh my gosh, everything's horrible, everything's terrible. My coping strategy is absolutely to lose it. To lose it. And my sister,
yes,
look at her lemon.
this is my lemon. Because
No.
I live in denial, obviously. I think I do. I live in denial and vodka.
I don't know. Denial's not
You
a
need,
bad
I
place.
keep telling her, drink. Have a drink.
Well, that's what I might do with this
Yes.
big lemon. I don't know. But I thought the lemon was a great metaphor, and it was quite the deal getting this lemon here. I even had to cut it in half and dissect it just to make the point. But we are very different in the way that we approached our diagnosis and the consequences of that.
Jeez.
Which leads us to our favorite thing to wear.
Oh,
Now, back in our 20s, it was buff.
yes.
Now we're at buffet. And what's so fabulous about these, we're not trying to sell them, I promise, but you definitely have the expansion for, food consumption.
Well,
So-
I'm just a little disappointed because when you called me and said,
go.
oh, I have this great idea. I've got these buffet pants coming. And she goes, they're huge. I mean, I'm thinking huge. Like, I'm going to stand up here, and she's going to have one side, and I'm going to have the other. That's how big these pants are. So we get to the hotel, and she pulls out all this stuff. She goes, look at these huge buffet pants.
They were hers.
I said, they're not huge. I'm like, where? Where are they? I said, Heidi, this is my size. This is what I wear. I said, I'm wearing these. They're not going to be a prop anymore. I'm wearing these. She goes, well, they are pretty big. I said, no, they're not. This is not that huge. I mean, look at me. That's not that huge. So our idea of huge is a little different.
Well,
but
obviously.
I'll be
look at
wearing
this.
these later,
See, I
definitely.
Thought, well, this is huge, right?
Well, that's true.
Okay.
So that's what something. So our mother is terminal. In January, they gave her 6 to 9 months to live. And I really didn't think, being here today, that she would still be here. But she is. And boy, this is hard with this part. She survived cancer number 1. She survived cancer number 2 with a double mastectomy. Unfortunately, the doctor didn't do the best job, and there was a flap of skin that was left behind. And in that flap of skin, cancer number 3 came. And by the time they caught it, it was too late. And so she's at the final stages. She's with us definitely tonight. She's cheering us on. She's healthy enough to be able to see Heidi. And she called me a few days later and said to me, I want to go to New York City with my girls, and I want to see Mama Mia. And I said, done. You know, whatever.
We want to honor our birth mother. There she is, Mama
Yes.
Mia. Her favorite song is Dancing Queen. We're going to turn off our mics, and we're going to change and do a little choreo now. So the first thing I'd like for you to do is, if you are able to stand, that would be great. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Just stand. Come on. Okay, first and foremost, this is how we guarantee a standing ovation. Come on. Give it to us. Nice.
Bad.
So we're going to do some really horrible choreography, and then we're coming to dance with you. There are some choices for disco moves that you can use. Okay, they're not hard. Try this one. That's not hard, right? You can do a little of this. That's not hard. And if you really want to bust a move, join us. We could do a line. I don't even know. Then we'll be out front to say goodnight to you. We just want to say thank you so much to everyone.
Yes,
And we're going to turn off our mics now. And good luck with all this, folks. Here we go. And don't run out that door.
One more time, Heidi and Jen.